3 months ago, this 70 series came to us absolutely standard. Now, 5-inch lift, 37-inch tires. Let me show you guys how we put this thing together. All right, in true BAW fashion, we're gonna start at the front of the vehicle. But before that, guys, I wanna run you through this SSM system really quickly. So what is an SSM? It is a second stage manufacturer, federally approved setup that Superior Engineering has done for these 70 series Landcruisers. Now this one is particular to the V8, so if you do have a facelifted cruiser, and it's got the 2.8 in it, sorry guys, this particular kit isn't for you. This is for the V8 variants only. So what does that mean? There is a plethora of items that come as part of this kit. That's what we're going to do today, is run through it all. So at the front, the bar is actually a part of the system. So when you do this particular kit, you have to have this to get your vehicle compliance as part of the kit. No, you can't choose your own and slap it on and do whatever you like. It has to have this particular bar because it is been approved to work in conjunction with the entire setup. And if you didn't know, you obviously need to fit these big 37s in there, and that's what this bar helps do at the same time. Now it's got all the features that you would want. You've got some lighting down the front. You can put a winch in, and we have done that with a 15,000 pound tank carbon off-road winch in there. So if he ever gets stuck in this, that's going to get him out of mischief. As you can see there, we have slapped the GME whip on the front. In cab is running the XRS Connect system for his communications in cab, because who doesn't need a good old handheld inside to go, yeah, 10-4 big buddy.
Copy that, over and out.
But it's very tidy, it's very clean. As you can see, Tim didn't want any form of lighting or spotties or anything on the front as of yet. I did ask him about that. He said, no, I want to keep the look of it a certain way, and that's what he has achieved with this. So I think the good old Cruiser icon is back. I mean, just look at this thing, the stance on it, how it looks right now. It's an absolute beast of a truck, so I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. All right, let's talk wheel and tire combo. So for this particular vehicle, we've gone with the 312 HDs from Method. These are a load rated rim, and as you all have heard me say, 37-inch tires, road legal in Australia under the SSM. This is the Geolander XMT. So if you thought you had mud terrain tires, this is the big brother to the Geolander mud terrains that I've actually got on my F-150. This is the tire that you would buy if you want to do some serious off-roading, which is exactly what we built this vehicle for. So pretty aggressive, but sensational. Alrighty, so what is keeping those wheels and tires going, moving through their full movement to all of its potential is a plethora of gear under the front of these that is included in the kit. So we've got adjustable panards, steering components as well, new drag link at the back, steering dampeners. All of this has to go in, guys, to make that steering continue to operate as if it was a factory vehicle. Yet you've got 5 inches of lift and 37-inch tires that are operating in that. So we've got a Hyperflex arm setup on this particular vehicle. Now you can choose to go a Superflex or the standard radius arms for these particular kits, but Tim doesn't want to do that. It's not a shopping trolley for him. He is wheeling the heck out of this thing. So the Hyperflex arms in the front were the go-to for him. That way the front end of this thing will be articulating all over the Woolies car park. Now that you've got all the componentry that you're gonna need to keep these things moving properly, we then need to make the space to let them go up, full up travel, and down as well. So goodbye factory 70 series inner guard section. Yes, we do have to chop some out to make these big bad boys fit, and like I mentioned before, the bar work is a part of that as well. So how do you make that happen and make it look factory again? Thank you, Superior Engineering, for your ingenuity when it comes to these flares that go back onto the vehicle to make it look like a factory setup. However, you need to keep good old mad flaps as well. That is part of the compliancing, guys, but Superior have done it again with this fantastic job here. It is a big one, but you've got a big indicator, so at least that way things are matching still, all right? Just don't get too excited, it's okay. You know, we're trying to make everyone happy here, so fully sick mud flap. I mean, these things will be flicking mud till the day you die anyway. What have we done to make that look all right? You can do these in any color that you want, guys. So if you did want to color code it, you can, but to go with the blackout and the chrome delete that we've done on this particular vehicle, obviously it's in the black. Talking about going chrome delete, here we are. We've done the classic chrome delete on the handles. So if you didn't know, these do come in chrome from factory. Even the key locks as well, get them out, get them blacked out. For the keen-eyed people that have noticed, this 70 series is now a two-tone 70. So Tim wanted to go all out with the top of the vehicle, and we've actually had this thing painted. No, it's not a wrap. We've gone all out with it, and we've actually sent it to our guys at the paint shop, and they have painted the top section in the black to give it that stealth look. So not only has it been painted top to the midsection, we actually did the inside, so when you do open the door, it still looks like it is that factory black all the way around on the inside as well. So I think that was a very, very nice touch that Tim wanted to get on the blackout on this particular 70. Side steps? No. These are rock sliders, and these ones come from the boys over at Fat Bars. We needed something that was obviously going to complement the vehicle, so we've got some steps from them with the tread top on top, and that's finished in the Rhino lining type finish. That way it's got a little bit of grip for you when things get wet. Anyway, let's keep moving up. All right, we've got some Clearviews on the side of this. You've got to get rid of those old 70 series bloody triangle mirror things. Throw them in the bin, guys. Don't even try with them. Set of Clearviews is going to sort you out. Tim is towing as well, so these things come out, they retract if you didn't know, but they are always going to help you see what's behind you. Let's keep going. 4-inch Fats Fab snorkel on the front, down into a aftermarket box as well. We'll show you guys a little bit of that later in the episode. But moving on up, if you didn't know, I did do a 70 series for Tim years ago, and a couple of his components from that vehicle have come across to this one. This Rhino rack being one of them. So now it's on the new car. We've got a 40-inch light bar on the front. I've got dual lights on the side. Why? Because one is amber and one is white, both switched in cab, so that way he can have whatever lighting he needs for whatever situation. Now, if you have noticed, we've got a couple of accessories up there, shovel holder, there's some Max Trax holders up there as well, and it's being practical with a solar panel up there, which helps keep our power system in the back all healthy and rocking and rolling as well. Another component that has come across from the old 70 of Tim's to the new one is this full tray and canopy package that you see before us today. So the Bushwhacker awning was a part of that. We've simply removed it from the old ute and we have adapted it now to the new one. There was a little bit of modification in how it had to be mounted to clear everything that has gone on underneath, especially the coil setup. But here it is in all its glory, and I've upgraded the power system inside as well. Let's talk through that one right now. What have I got in here? Well, it's a fridge. So you guys can't see it, but I'm sure the guys are going to throw up a little bit of what's going on. So let me run you through it real quick. We had an old battery set up in there and an old inverter that just wasn't cutting the mustard for what Tim wanted to use it for. So we have gone bigger and better. We've got a 330 amp hour lithium battery in there now, and we've done a 3000 watt red arc inverter rather than the 2 that was in there. So Tim needed a bit more oomph to utilize a couple of tools, air fryers, anything that he needs and wants as he is on the beach or whatever he's doing. So we've done that in the back. We've also upgraded the chargers. So when it came to us, the power system had 30 amp chargers in it, twin 30 amp chargers. We've now upped that to twin 50s. I am going to tell you guys about what we've done under the bonnet as well to make sure we're powering them. And we made a larger solar controller as well from Victron, because the old one was only a 15 amp, and now we've got 2 panels on the top, and we have an external solar input, so at least Tim can throw all the blankets at it that he wants. And this thing is going to be charging his battery system from solar. No dramas at all now with that new solar controller. So it's gone from good to absolute powerhouse. And my favorite feature about the Canopy is the twin compressor setup. Tim didn't want to be standing around waiting for a compressor to air up these big bad boys down here. He wanted to get the job done and get out of there as quickly as possible. So I've got 2 twin ARB compressors mounted to the top of the Canopy here, coupled up with a mad air tank. So at least that way you've got some volume as well. He's got a little hose reel here that you can simply pull out, plug her in, slap it onto the tyres, airing up, and you are getting out, going home sooner rather than later. I really like that, it's kind of cool. And on this side, we've got a plethora. That's my new favorite word for this episode too, if you didn't know. We've got an absolute bucket load of room for storage, and check it out, a fully dedicated beers fridge. Oh, and check that out. It's even got a bore step. Wonder where he got that from. Probably some mad dogs, eh? Moving around to the rear, some things that you may notice on the back of the 70. Heyman Reese tow bar on the rear. We do have the X bar here. Great thing about these is the incorporated recovery points that go on the back. A few power outlets, guys, reverse camera, all your normalities, towing here as well. Like I said, Tim does have some stuff that he is towing. This tray canopy setup did have the trundle, so that's obviously still there. Something that you may be noticing though, twin tips at the back. No, they are not part of the kit that came from Superior. They are a aftermarket setup that Tim, after we'd finished with the car, had gone away and had done elsewhere. Now, why is there no toolboxes on the back? Like I said before, this came off his previous 70 series and we were adapting it to this car. The exhaust is massive, and obviously the way that the tray had to mount to the vehicle was slightly different to clear all of the coil conversion components, so the toolboxes didn't fit. It has to go back to the guys at Off-Road Creative, and they are going to wave their magical Wingardium Leviosa wand.
Wingardium Leviosa.
To make them fit to the side of the ute. Then, hey ho, what do you know? You'll have some toolboxes back on the side of the car. Well, we can't leave out one of the most important parts of this build, which is underneath at the rear. Let's get this thing off the ground and have a look at that 4-link system, the bolt-in setup that comes as a part of this kit. 1 second though. We'll just get it up so we can get underneath and have a look. Alrighty, now that I've got this thing up in the air for you, it's much easier to see what's going on underneath. This is it, guys. This is the 4-link bolt-in coil conversion party time end of the system. What does that mean? No more leaf packs, no more short diffs. We do have a track corrected diff housing here, which incorporates everything that needs to make this system work. So you're getting things like new sway bars, you've got your 4-link with your upper arms, fully sick long arm lowers, so that's a big difference to some other ones as well. You've got a full bolt-in setup for those, and the cradle itself, which comes in the kit also. Then you've got your coils. We have done the airbags, and we did do a in-cab control setup with a little remote on that, so it's all controlled from the cab. You can literally set your pressures, 5 psi, 10, 20, whatever you want to do. You can program them into the controller as well and hit that button. So if you are putting on a caravan, you can go setting 3, which is your caravan, and it'll auto take up your PSI to whatever you set it to. Things like bash guards here as well are part of the kit. This is not an extra, that actually comes as part of the system as well. So that's protecting all your wiring for your factory diff center. So your locker and all those types of things are kept safe and out of the way of rocks and flying objects. These hard lines even come as part of the kit, and we also have braided brake lines rather than the old rubber hoses that all get replaced in the system as well. So that is all a part of everything that comes with the housing and everything else to make it work. Can you fit a long range tank in there after you do this kind of modification? Yes, you can. Brown Davis 185 litre tank has gone in where the factory tank was, so that is definitely a possibility. So there's a lot going underneath here, guys, that makes these systems work, but that is a quick run over the things that come in this kit to make the coil conversion do what you want it to do. Oh, geez, that was heavy. Now that that's done, let's have a look under the bonnet, shall we? First mod every 70 series owner needs: gas struts on your bonnet. I mean, this thing's that tall that you'd be arms up to the sky just to put your stay down. And if you didn't know, they actually open up the bonnet further than what the factory stay will get up there for you anyway, so winning. Alrighty, so let's not lie to ourselves. It is still just a V8 Landcruiser, so it is a little bit slow. And now that we've got absolutely massive tyres on it, you are going to want to make them turn. Hence, some power mods have been done to this vehicle, and I'm sure you can see what's going on here over factory. I will tell you and point something out: those fans on the intercooler, please go and do it. It is definitely a really, really good upgrade. But what we've done in here is power setup. So I've got an isolator here for our winch, which is at the front. We've had to remove the factory covering on the new battery terminal here on the positive terminal. I don't like it. I just don't. I think that they should have just left it as it was on the old one. There was nothing wrong with it, it worked, but they've got this stupid incorporated fuse one now. It's a little bit annoying. I kind of know why they've done it, because they've moved some fusing away into this space, so I get that, but I just don't like it. It is annoying for aftermarket stuff. Anyway, I've made it work. Look at that. It's pretty. It still operates. And then we've got a whole bunch of gear going on up in this corner here, because I've got a new alternator from the guys at Rapid Power, the Enduro type, which is a 250 amp alternator. That is what's powering the vehicle, as you would have been seeing. We've got all this power sucking stuff in the back. We've got big stereos in the vehicle, so that all needs power, and that's what that alternator is doing for us, providing the power into said setup. So we've got all of our fusing, MIDI fuses, relays, fuse boxes, all up on this side of the vehicle. That way Tim can get to it easily. There's nothing hiding in under somewhere where you got to pull a battery out just to get to a fuse. It is all there at your fingertips. That way, if there's any issues with any fuses blowing or any problems down the road with this electrical system, it is very, very self-explanatory. Another part of your GVM system, we do new diff breathers, because of obviously how much articulation you are going to get out of this system. So our breathers for the diffs are done through the Superior setup, and then you've got a dual diaphragm brake booster here as well, which is also part of that kit. So you're getting an absolute bucket load of gear when you do one of these conversions to your 70 series V8. Hey! Ooh. Alrighty, so now that we've showed you guys how we've put this thing together, how about we go for a quick drive? I'm going to talk to you about what we've done on the interior, and let's actually talk about how this thing drives on the road as well. Well, let's talk about the interior in this build, because there's a little bit going on inside here. To start with, we've got basically a full leather interior fit out. So door cards, rear seat, not the front seats, however, because we actually had these seats come over from Shieldman, and we've put a set of Shieldman seats in the vehicle as requested by Tim. Now, I had a set of these in my 70 series. I actually still have them, mind you, and I'm going to put them in my 80. So they are a good seat. They definitely have a lot of adjustment in them, and I like them. and obviously Tim likes them because we put them in his car for him, so there you go. Normal things as you would like to see in a vehicle, like Department of Interior center console. It's got the new scan gauge in the center as well. We did do a full stereo fit out in this, so we've got front and rear door pods, a full sub setup behind the seat as well. Now that incorporates 2 amps, one for the sub, one for your door pod speakers. And we've obviously got our little BAW tweeter holders because we do splits in the front. Those go where your old 4-inch piece of crap speakers used to be from the factory. So that's going to give him a really nice sound as well. We have put in a PVS 12.2, I think it is, head unit in this vehicle. Tim requested that. He wanted something that was substantial. It is a ridiculously huge screen, and we've incorporated that obviously into the stereo and all that. So we did a bit of stereo tuning with that thing. It still utilizes all your factory steering wheel controls as well. There you go. First, who would have ever thought that steering wheel controls would have been in a 70 series Landcruiser? I mean, if you'd told me that 5 years ago, I would have laughed you out the door. But here they are, and they're here to stay in these vehicles. So that's pretty cool. What else did we do in here? No roof console, because Tim's actually quite tall, so he's not keen on the roof consoles because obviously head space, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much interior things that we added inside. Obviously you got your everyday necessities like your UHF, all your switching. We fit all of the necessary switches that Tim needed, you know, left and right lights, Clearview mirror switch as well, all in the factory points. And we've also got a pass through for the UHF, and we did have to do our Red Arc Tow Pro on the driver's side. Easy to get to, right near the key barrel here, so you can literally change that whilst you are on the drive. Also, there's a couple of little brackets that we incorporated for the UHF handpiece and a phone mount as well, so he's got everything at his fingertips for that. And it just makes the cab very usable. Tim does spend a fair bit of time in this thing on the highway between Brisbane and Gold Coast, so he needed to obviously have all those bits and bobs just ready to rock and roll, because this is kind of his office when he's on the road. So yes, very nice interior. We've done max liner floor mats in this as well, so those are basically your bucket type floor mats, which is keeping all your mud and sand and dirt and crap out of your carpet. A big thing that we do have in cab as well on this build is the ECDS, which is your electronically controlled shocks from Superior as part of the coil conversion. These are an awesome piece of kit because obviously you don't have to get out of the vehicle to adjust your compression setting on the shock. You can do it live right now as you are driving to whatever type of adjustment that you're going to need. So if you are just cruising around town and you want a nice cruisy smooth ride, fantastic, wind them down a bit, nice and smooth. But if you are heading on the highway, or you're loaded up, or you're doing something specific that you need that compression for, mate, wind the dial up. Easy, super easy, and it gives you that real full adjustment in the shock, and that way you're going to be actually utilizing that new shock with the electronic control to its full capabilities as well. Because a lot of people with the manually adjustable ones, they kind of get lazy, I don't want to change it, and you don't actually utilize the shock to its full potential because you're not adjusting it as it needs required. But mate, who doesn't love a good 70 just long, what is it, thong slapping up the beach on a weekend? Ugh, you ain't Australian if you don't like that noise, that's for sure. So what is it like driving a 5-inch lifted 70 series with 37-inch tyres? Surprisingly, it's better than what you think. Because you have such a big lift and such big tyres, it actually still works quite harmoniously together. Because you've got such a wide tyre, we do use a good offset to complement the lift in this vehicle as well as part of the GVM setup from Superior. So the guys have done really, really well creating this kit and actually putting it together to make this all work harmoniously. Now, the big thing is it's completely road legal, guys. So you don't have to worry about the coppers pulling you over and giving you a hard time and putting a fully sick yellow sticker on your car, because this is completely road legal.
Nah, bro, I'm defecting your head, mate.
Yes, you have to do it pre-registration. Yes, you have to do it on a brand new vehicle to obtain the lift size. But if that's in your wheelhouse, mate, why not? If you can do something like this and that's a road that you want to go down, this is the way to do it, because you are completely legal on the road. So it's been a very pleasant experience whilst driving this vehicle to see how it behaves and how it works and everything that it can do. So very, very impressed. Well, that's it for Tim's 70 series build. I absolutely love putting these things together. As you might know, 70 series are very close to my heart. I used to have one. I don't have it anymore. So if you've got a 70 series, bring it down to me so I can put it together for you, because I miss mine. Well guys, thanks very much for watching. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you liked the episode. If you didn't, subscribe to the channel. That way I can get better, and I'll see you next week. Catch you guys. This 70 series Landcruiser. Like, oh my God, get out the way, lady. I'm like, far out. What's that song? Beep, bop, boop, bop, deep, pop, pow. Those shocks look good in there, don't they?